What's up, Gumi Gang, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're going to be revisiting an old friend of mine that helped me get through the days of Modern Warfare 2's version of Warzone. I'm talking, of course, about the Bryson 890 Speed Demon build. Now, if you remember in Modern Warfare 2's version of Warzone, you couldn't really do much movement-wise. You could sort of jump and shoot, kind of. You could sort of just jump around, and that was pretty much it. That was really all you could do to challenge people, but now with Modern Warfare 3's version of Warzone, we can slide cancel, we can jump a lot more effectively, we feel faster, everything feels so much more smooth, and because of that, the Bryson 890 that helped me get through those days is now even better than ever. With Modern Warfare 3's attachments and its movement mechanics, this gun is an absolute beast if you have the skill for it. So first, I'm going to show you guys the build. I'm going to talk about why it's so good, why there's some issues with it, and of course my overall thoughts. If you want to hop to a certain part of the video, make sure to check out the timestamps in the description below. So let's just get into it. So as promised, here is the build. As you can see, it's pretty similar to what we had before last year, but we have one extra attachment to help with movement, and that is the FTAC MSP98 hand stop. This will give us a nice boost to our movement speed overall, on top of an already incredibly fast shotgun. Now this build, you are losing a little bit of range. That is one issue with it, but it's not much. It's only a couple percentage points, and your two-shot with this range, you're looking at about that 5.7 meter range. Now let's say you're okay with the movement speed and it's a little overkill and you'd rather have some other attachments to balance it out. Well, some other attachments you could run are the Demo X50 tactical pump that gives you a little bit of a better rate of fire. Remember that this gun did get a little bit of a rate of fire boost or buff recently, so it's going to help a little bit more, and you're going to notice it with that Demo X50 tactical pump. So you can swap out the Demo drop zone if you want a little bit better rate of fire. You can also swap out maybe that 5-shell mag, just take it off so you have 8 rounds by default, and maybe use something like the Bryson choke to get a little bit of a tighter spread to make your shots a little bit more consistent. But as to which one to remove, that's kind of up to you. That's kind of preference, because a lot of these help in the same way with the movement, so it's really just their combined efforts that make this thing such a damn monster to behold. Up next, we're going to talk about why this build is so good, but just before we do, I want to give a quick shout out to my friends over at GFUEL. Right now they have a leap year buy one get one 50% off sale, so that means if you get one tub and then you get a second tub on top of that, your second one will be 50% off, which will save you a good bit of moolah. Now if you just want to try GFUEL for your first time, or get one tub or an energy drink pack or anything like that, make sure to use code GUMI at checkout. It'll get you 20% off, and also it's a great way to support me as a creator. So with that being said, make sure to check out GFUEL and try one of those amazing flavors you see on their site, and let me know what you think about it. So now let's talk about why this build is so good. And as you can tell from the title of the video, it's all about speed. And why is that so good? Because this thing is one of the fastest guns in the entire game. Even with all the Modern Warfare 3 guns and how fast they are, this one is even faster, I promise you that. If you take a look at the advanced stats, for example, for this build, and compare it to something like the Striker build that I made for just pure mobility, that's not really practical because it's got like a 20-round mag or something like that, you can see the only thing that the Striker build really beats this gun at is the ADS movement speed. Everything else is pretty much going straight for the Bryson 890. Typically, movement speeds might be tied to this, or you might have aim down sights movement speeds that are faster than this one, but overall, just for pure movement, this Bryson 890 build is incredibly fast, and like I said, one of the fastest builds in the entire game. And I don't even need to try and convince you, just go try it for yourself and run around with it in tac stance, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, unfortunately, this gun does have some trade-offs with that speed, the first of which is the reduced range. Your two shot's only 5.7 meters, which is kind of a far cry from what you can get with the Lockwood 680 and with some of the other builds you can get with these pump actions. It's a little bit smaller, but that's not really super bad to deal with because you can get super close very quick with this build, which is really fun. Honestly, I treat this as sort of a super shorty type of shotgun where it's very short range. You got to get up in people's faces and just demolish them with two shots. Another sad thing about this gun is that it's a bit inconsistent. You'll notice sometimes you get 3-shot kills or maybe even 4 when it should have been like a 2, you would think, and this is due to its less pellet damage than things like the Lockwood 680. It just doesn't deal as much damage overall, and for its first drop-off range, you have to hit a chest shot to get its 2-shot kill potential, which is a bit of a bummer, but that's not super hard to do. It's just something that if you do scuff a shot, it's going to be a lot more unforgiving than it would be with something like the Lockwood 680. Also, this thing did get a rate of fire boost, but it still shoots pretty slow compared to most things in the game, so you're going to have to utilize your movement very well. You're going to have to be a demon if you want to use this effectively, but if you're a demon and you can handle that, this is going to be one of the most fun builds you can probably play with. Now, as for my overall thoughts, I love this thing, but it is very inconsistent. It's just so fun to just break people's cameras and their ankles with this thing, just slide in and out of cover and go flying through the map. It is incredibly fun, and with a shotgun, it just kind of adds to the whole fun and exciting aspect of it, because you really got to be on your A game when you use this. You don't have the luxury of missing a few shots like you do with an SMG or an AR that has good movement speed. No, with this, you gotta hit your shots. I've had instances where I scuff one shot and it absolutely kills me, and it's really hard to deal with if you're not used to this kind of gameplay. You gotta be weaving in and out of cover, you gotta be sliding and jumping and doing all crazy stuff around people, and that's really where the skill in this comes from, is just utilizing that movement as best as you can and making yourself such a hard target to hit, which with this speed that you can get from this build isn't actually super difficult. You just got to take some time to practice with it and learn how to slide cancel effectively and slide into shots and all that good stuff. So I really encourage you guys to give this gun a try if you haven't. I promise you, you will have so much fun as long as you can close that gap, treat it like a super shorty, really short range shotgun. This thing is going to be an absolute blast. So with all that being said, guys, I want to know, as always, down below in the comments, what do you think about this build? Now it's more improved with this FTAC MSP hand stop. Do you prefer using that hand stop? Do you want to use a different attachment? Are there other movement speed builds that I should check out, especially in the shotgun category? And with all that being said, guys, I will see you in the next video.
Mad.